We are live. Hello, everyone. Jess, Claire here, coming to you on this awesome Sunday morning. If you are watching, please jump or please make a comment. I've got you up here. I'm just waiting for myself to pop up on the screen. Here I am. I always do that. So I'd love to hear from you. Let's have a look. We got hey. This is the Social Media Academy. Rogue Lifestyle meets the Social Media School, the #1 social media school for entrepreneurs. I'm Jess Claire. Hello, Jamie. I have to say hello to you all as you jump on. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Simone. Hey, Rebecca. Despite where you are, whether you're lying in bed right now, I like to joke it, or whether you're sitting on the toilet, because we all know that's what people do on their phones. Good morning, Travis. Good morning. Whatever you're doing, this is going to make a big difference to you. This has been something I've been conjuring up this week. I've just noticed, I like to think that I run a social media school. I talk about leadership and what it is to really run a business, not just a pretend one, the ones that you see online. And as we now know that we have this instance I call of, instead of a pretend life, we now have a pretend business. So thank you, Jamie. So I want to talk a bit about that and how you can bring leadership and, simple, repeatable tasks to this. Before I go into it, just to give you, hey, Phil, I love being with you guys. I know I get the freedom to really express myself in this group. And also, this is also being streamed over to my social media school as well, and my page. But essentially, the freedom that Jamie and Alan give you in here is just incredible. And I'm very glad to be here. So I want to talk to you about leadership. And I want to give you 5 hacks. And I created them today and this week. This is actually hot off the press, a brand new tool, these 5 hacks, because I realized that it's really needed. I noticed, as I'm going to talk a bit more about, this pretend business that everyone is sprouting. So I want to talk to you about a real business, an authentic business. I hate the word authentic because authentics become the new pretend. But what I mean by authentic is like how life is actually happening, how your business is actually running, and the things that you need to account for. So I'm going to go into that. If you have any questions on what I'm saying, I'm going to ask you, what's the most frustrating and challenging thing about your business right now? What is it? For me, so just while you think about that, I'd love to see them in your comments. For me, the most challenging thing in the last couple of weeks was that I lost a lot of money. I made a couple of mistakes in my business. I put on 2 new staff, and then I changed the way that I was doing my programs, and essentially 2 weeks of cash flow that I expected didn't come in. And that wasn't actually the challenging part. The challenging part was what I noticed about how much I wanted to hide that. I'd also spent the money that I expected in the cash flow to come in. And I noticed how much I wanted to hide that. I noticed how much I wanted to how much I wanted to kind of work extra and start to kind of save face, so nobody knew that this entrepreneur that I was, and no one could find out that I screwed up and I wasn't perfect, and I needed to look as good as I was on Facebook. And the biggest challenge for me actually was, wow, I reckon a lot of people go through this. And then I started to look around and I started to see that there wasn't much discussion on this. So I wanted to bring, a real reality to some of the things that happen, and then provide tools to actually deal with that, because it was the tools that I have in our social media business, because we deal with human beings, real ones, not pretend ones that don't exist, that are bulletproof and pretend that they're robots. They're not real. They don't exist. And so we deal with real human beings that cry and sit in the corner and wish they'd never done that thing and experience guilt, shame, and anxiety. All of those ones, we deal with those real humans. Okay. The robots, I will leave them to the people that tell you you can become a millionaire overnight. So what have we got here? Needing to fit in a marketing system that doesn't feel congruent or authentic to me. Perfect, Tamsin. You're going to love this. I stopped outsourcing, been wearing too many hats, and not enough boundaries, taking on other people's success and my own responsibility. Perfect. Pre-frame from the get-go. Yes, great. Anyone else wants to add? I think someone said I can't see comments. Oh yeah, I should start putting them on screen. Apologies. There's a couple of people that are tuning in from other places, so I will put the comments on the screen. Here you go. I forgot to do that. So yes, we're talking about real entrepreneurs not needing to fit into the marketing system. Hey, Barb, good to see you. Yes, okay, and I struggle with patience. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna flash this up on the screen. We'll see how we go. I trust the process, but feel so impatient for results. Yeah, I so get that. So I'm gonna go here. So 5 hacks of leadership. I'm just gonna share that with you now. The first one, well, firstly, I developed this because I noticed that the boring tasks became the things I stopped when all these other things happened, right? And then the thing, I want to show you, kind of give you a story about how this kind of works, is that these are 5 hacks because the boring, repeatable tasks are actually the most important thing that you can do in your business. And I'm going to go into what that is. But number 2 are those boring, repeatable tasks and the consistency that you need to remain. But these are the 5 hacks for leadership amongst all of this, right? So I'm going to start with a story, and then I'm going to come back to don't rush. So the story is we have been sold this idea that if we want to be good at business, we need to come up with a good idea, that if we don't have a good idea, it won't sell. And therefore, we're either good at business or we're not. And so what that leads us to do is we get into an idea, we get really excited, and we get really into something, and then something happens, there's a failure in that, and then we tend to, and what I've seen is most people then go, oh, it's me, and stop, and then go back to a job or go back to something they don't like, or just stop completely and don't get a job or be an entrepreneur. And there's this silly idea that someone created for us that it was easy, that there's a just add water solution. If you just get a click funnel, you'll make $1 million. I mean, I even bought into that yesterday. It's like, oh my God. I found myself buying a $7 thing and spending all this time looking at it. And I'm like, wow, I can see how all these people buy into this stuff, you know? And there was actually some good value in it. But there was also some things that were really against my own ethics that they were encouraging me to do, you know? So the story is that we bought into this idea that it needs to look really simple, quick, and if you're not really good at it, you should quit and just get a job. I want you to put that aside and say that's this old paradigm, old conditioning that we have. Okay, so rule number 1 is don't rush. Have yourself a 10-year plan for this. Okay, and I'm not saying it's gonna take you 10 years, and if 10 years is like, oh, whoa, 10 years to you, then make it 3 or make it 5 if you don't like that. That's too far. I've got a 10-year plan. And I really don't care what anyone thinks about my 10-year plan. I have a 10-year plan, and I'm telling you that by well, it won't be 20, yeah, it'll be 2029, I will be a mentor, and I will be, I don't think I'll be public, but I will be a mentor to the President of the United States to impact leadership in ways this world doesn't know. And I've told this to people, and you know what? People criticize me and go, whatever. That's fine with me. It's a result in reality. So sometimes we say, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. And what we miss is a result in reality that will say, at this time, I could look and see if I'm doing this thing that I've fulfilled on, that is important to me. Okay, so people like Gary Vee, they've also got something like that. Gary Vee talks about owning, I can't remember the actual name of the baseball stadium, but he talks about his goal was to own this baseball stadium, right? And that would be a result in reality. The rest, you just sort of leave that in the 10 years, and then you just keep taking the next step. And I always talk about in my programs, the next 3 actions to take. Not the next 30,000 actions to take, just the next 3. And if you, yeah, people are saying that. I feel impatient sometimes. Entrepreneurship is not about a quick buck, exactly, right? You got to dig your trench. I love these comments. The person you need to become, not the magic wand. There is no magic wand. This is all practice. And if you could see it in its beauty and joy, you know, like every conversation, if you can imagine that you're walking down a path every day, and, you know, this is just something that empowers me, but the universe is just giving you everything you want to line you up with that 10-year goal of what I'm saying is my 10-year goal. Everything you want is coming back to you. And yes, think big, because the bigger you think, the better your problems will be. Okay? If you rush, you're going to get a lot of problems that don't even matter. Like someone left a toilet seat up, and then this person next to me is yelling at me, and then that person on Facebook said something, and you'll get problems. You'll get lots of them, but they won't be great problems to have. What you want to do is have a big goal, like you said, Lorna. You want to have a big goal. You want to think big, so your problems are worth solving. You want the kind of problems worth solving, like, how do I mentor the US president? Who do I need to become in terms of my own leadership and my own expression that's even possible? That means I don't get annoyed with people on Facebook. I don't care if someone bumps into me and is rude to me. I know how to show them love because I'm practicing for a really big goal. I don't care if someone leaves the toilet seat down. It means I don't tolerate certain things in relationships like I used to. It's really, your goals have got to be big, really big. And Barb, thank you. I've been overwhelming myself trying to rush. No, don't rush. There is no rush. In fact, rushing is probably counterproductive. The more you do, the more you do, the more you do, the more you do, the more you do. Okay? You get into that pattern, it's overwhelming, you'll burn out, it's counterintuitive. Actually pacing yourself, taking 3 actions, putting them in your diary and doing them, that's it. Doing them is what will actually have your dreams unfold. You want an unfolding. You don't want results. You'll get results if you allow things to unfold. Okay, so think big. So that's number 1. Don't rush. Okay. And yes, everything will happen. Everything will happen. Everything will happen. You'll be taking lots of action whether you even realize it. The toilet paper is on the wrong way. Exactly. Take 3 steps every day or however long. If you know, I'm going to go into this in the next step. So I'm going to go back to my screen and just share the next step and just rehash this. So don't rush. Look out with 10 years. Everything you always wanted has probably already happened now anyway. When you look at yourself 5 years ago, you would have been, I want this, I want this, I want this. And if you really think about it, where you are, I'm exactly where I wanted to be 5 years ago. Even 2 years ago, I said I was going to remake my life after my marriage ended. And I have done that. You know, everything I wanted, I've always got. So if I just keep focused on what I really want, it will happen. So number 2, do simple things consistently. If you track this, it will prove it. Our brains will lie to us about results, which is why following numbers is so powerful. So I'm going to give you the key to to unlock a profitable, what everyone's selling you on social media, business that will have your business thrive. And if you just follow these steps, guys, you'll be a millionaire in 5 minutes. Maybe not 5 minutes. Let's say you'll be a millionaire in a year if you follow these simple steps, right? Firstly, you need a brand, marketing, and sales framework. You use this as a tool. Brand is awareness. The formula for awareness on social media is what I call 1-5-3. You do 1 post a day, you do 5 stories, and you do 3 lives a week. 3 lives a week, not 3 lives a day. Okay, that's what we use that in our social media school. 1-5-3. Now it seems easy, doesn't it? You just do it. Except it's not what we do. We don't do those things consistently. And we're going to talk about why we don't do those consistently. So if you really look at the simple things you've got to do consistently, they're the things that stop. And when those things stop, that's what impacts the business. It's these boring, consistent tasks that need to be done. Now, then people go, I don't know how to think of it. What am I going to say? What's my authentic message? I mean, we've got loads of tools for this, but that's it. It's actually those boring, repeatable tasks, even if you don't feel like it, they're really important. So I'm not going to go into, we've got lots of masterclasses at the social media school, and of course, all my programs about how you connect to your authentic message. But I just want to make it clear that it's those boring, repeatable tasks that make your business thrive. So you have to have your awareness. The second thing is marketing. You have to have a marketing plan. And a marketing plan, I'm going to give it away to you. It's really, really simple. You have to make it easy for people to find you. Every live you do, or most of the posts that you do, and the things that you do, you have to put links to your stuff. You just have to. You have to put a link in here. Here's my next event. Here's my next thing. Here's my next product. Here's how you contact me. You have to put links everywhere all the time. Just make it easy for people to get to you. Right? You'll notice even in my billboard on my cover photo on my page that I've got a link to my Calendly so that people can book in with me for a 15-minute chat if they want to do one of my immersions or my programs. You know, you've got to make it really easy for people to get to you. That can be one of the most simplest things. And to do that, you've got to commit to events. So you always have to have a next event. You always have to have a next thing that you want people to do, that you want to express who you are, right? So that's your marketing, really simple. Always have something next, an event, something, and always make it easy for people to get to that. So you got to put your links everywhere so people can get to you and get to that, right? Marketing, sales. Again, simple, repeatable tasks that people do not do. Sales, people think this is a mystery, but what is annoying is getting lots of sales and people giving you shit that you don't need, right? And you don't want, and what I call going way in hard and dry, and they don't even buy you a drink. They become your friend on Facebook, and then they go, here's my link, here's my program, want to buy it? Okay. I don't like that. Nobody does, right? But if you're building an audience and you're actually doing the other repeatable tasks, so you're showing up every day and you're doing posts and you're doing stories and people know who you are and you're sharing your why, and you're doing lives and you're talking about what matters to you, then people will want to buy your, there will be things that you offer that are unique that people will need. So you do have to do the work to invite people to stuff. You actually just have to invite people to come to your things. You do a bulk invite on Facebook, so everyone gets a notification of your next event. You do a bulk invite. You have to message inbox people that you think would like this and offer it to them and ask if they want it. You have to do that. Okay? Don't worry about all the people that are going in hard and dry. Okay? Just focus on for yourself that make it personal. You have to go out to the message and say, hey, do you want to do this thing? And you do have to call people. One of the interesting things that I find in my programs is when I get to the point when I say, pick up the phone and give people a call that you think might like this, people are terrified. These are boring, repeatable tasks, right? I get it. No one wants to do them. Which is why, and I'm just about to give you a little sales pitch. This is what it looks like. I have an event coming up called the Social Media Games. And this, just giving you a little intro into what it looks like. When it flows to actually share something about your event, you just share it. You know, I'm not going to like throw it in the end and go, okay, I've done all this great value. Great. Now I will throw it in. No, it works to do it at the time it works to do it. I have an event called Social Media Games because I know that these things are really, really scary for people. I know that calling is scary. I know that inboxing is scary. I know that making events is scary. So we've created Social Media Games as a way to bring the fun and play and make that whole experience like you're playing in your backyard. Okay, so I will put a link in here because that's what you do as well. You have a link. I'm going to put a link in here and look at this. To make it easy for you to get to that event, right? So there you go. Social Media Games tickets. You'd love them. It's going to be super fun and it is limited. So as I'm sharing this with you, this is a part of the fun, right? I'm just inviting you. You don't have to get it. If you're there going, oh, this is just a sales pitch, that's fine. Delete me off Facebook. Hate on me. It's fine with me. Okay? I'm good. You don't have to like anything I do. You can just go do something else. Okay? So the second thing is you've got to do those repeatable tasks consistently. They just have to be done. And then once you get really familiar in those, what will unfold is easier ways to bring your audience into your product, okay? But those simple repeatable tasks are a foundation to begin with. They will have your business begin to thrive. Now, any questions on that? Any questions on that? I'll move on. Is there, you can, this is sort of the next one. So I think we're going to move on to the next one. The next one is moving on to plan for breakdowns in the system. You know your life. You have to plan for your actual life, not the pretend one. This is the massive pitfall for people, right? Plan for your actual life. If you know, just like if you know that you're someone that gets really impacted by people's views about you, you got to plan for that. If you know that you've got kids, like I have kids, you've got to plan for that. You know, I have to plan for that when I have my kids, I don't have calls. I will not do it. I will say to my assistant, do not book me in. These are the times that I'm with my children. You have to plan for it. And you got to allow yourself, again, patience. You don't have to do anything when you're with them, because ultimately I found that in my actual life, if I was working while I was with my kids, I would get guilty, and then I was guilty, and then I wouldn't be a great mum because I was frustrated, and I'd get frustrated at my kids. So it was like, why am I doing this? I just say no, I'm with my kids. And then anyone who doesn't appreciate that, they're not my tribe. Okay, now that's my actual life. That's not necessarily yours. If you've got, like Jamie is a great example, she's pregnant. She's got 4 billion other children. She's got a business to run. She's holding a space for a massive container of other coaches and other people so that their businesses can thrive. Her actual life consists of all of that stuff. There are going to be loads of breakdowns, so should be planning for that, because there's so many things that can go wrong at any time. You know, you've got to plan for this stuff. You got to plan for what your actual life is. If you're dealing with a child, and this is what I know, I'm going to just be really raw right now, so you get what people's actual lives are like. If you have a child that has special needs, you've got to plan for that, but you can still be an entrepreneur. You've just got to plan for it. If you've got a parent who is unwell and you've got to look after them, absolutely, you've got to plan for that. You can still be an entrepreneur, but you've got to plan for that. If you, which means that you might be with clients and just say, look, my mum is ill and I just want you to know I'm going to be doing this, but if something happens, here's how I'm going to deal with it. You got to plan for it. Don't not do it. I want people to live actual real lives and real businesses, not pretend ones where we all get worried and anxious and sit in meetings and thinking about our parents who's unwell and that we need to look after them, but we shouldn't be here doing this thing. No, you can do both. I'm all about plan for it. Be honest about it. I had someone just recently say to me, you know, I'm doing a podcast. I do a podcast called Human Business. It's not launched yet, but we're doing the podcast episodes. And I managed to get this incredible woman that runs this global charity and saves loads of children across the globe. And she's also a real successful businesswoman as well. And she wants to be on the podcast. And then she's like, but I can only do these times. And it was times with my kids, right? And I just said to her, that's fine. It's not going to work. I just am immovable with what my real life looks like. And I really find it all works out with that. So I got to plan for that. I got to plan for also, I know about 2 days a month, around a particular time, I really get cranky and create problems for myself. So I just plan for that. I don't resist it now. I know that certain things get me really frustrated and upset. So I plan for that. I don't resist it. I don't think I can't be a business owner if I'm frustrated and annoyed sometimes at my staff. I don't think I'm a business owner that I can't be a business owner if I have a client that's really, really unhappy with me and I don't know how to deal with it. No, I plan for it now. There's always going to be clients. There's always going to be people that are going to get unhappy with the way I do things. So what do I do about it? I plan for it. And we go through a lot of that in our programs as well. You know, I plan for how I'm going to deal with that and how I'm going to show up as my brand and love and give nothing but generosity for people. And we're going to go through that. So that any, gotta. If you're someone that gets really messed up with negative feedback, just plan for it. Just be like, this is what I do. I get really worried when I put something out there and people don't like it. Okay, plan for it. What do you need? Do you need to go to someone and have them validate you? Then own that. If this happens, I'm going to call this friend and I'm going to tell my friend. And I've even had, excuse me, friend, I get really messed up because in the beginning I did. When people make negative comments and I'm really worried. So can I ring you and can you validate me and tell me that everything I'm doing is great? And he did. And it was great. It was exactly what I needed. So you can do that. Plan for that. What have we got here? 100%. The advantage of our own freedom. Absolutely. Jamie, non-negotiables when we break our own word and trust with ourselves. It really is. We know what we need and we want. The most authentic thing we can do is actually own it and ensure that we do it. That is the most authentic thing we can do. So, and it's also one of the most courageous acts is to stand for what we really want and what brings us joy and what works for us. But also be open to kind of working that out with someone as well. Like, this takes a lot of practice. I've been practicing this for a long time and I'm very clear it works. But it does take practice, but it is worth the practice and even screwing it up. So number 3, it's been going on for longer than I expected. Focus on your, sorry, that was number 3. Number 4, focus on your joy, not fixing anyone. Or anything, I should say, or anyone at that matter. If something doesn't go to plan, stop. Don't keep going. That's one of the things I do. Stop the action. Stop. Okay, I'm speeding up. I'm starting to try and fix everything. I'm texting someone going, what's going on? What's going on? Stop. Focus on what you love. Go and do something you love, whether that's going to the beach, going outside, journaling, having a bath. Going into overdrive about the issue is another pitfall. It just keeps going and going and going. The solution comes in the joy. It's also another pitfall. And I still have to remind myself of this too. We think that when things don't work out, that we have to go fix them straight away. And again, this takes practice, but it really is not about continuing to go. It really is about stop. It's, oh my God, I'm texting this person, we're doing text wars now, or there's someone on my comments and I'm trying to justify myself, or oh, I made a mistake, now I have to kind of recover, and I'm sending them lots of emails going, this is what I'm justifying. No, stop. There is nothing for you to justify. There is nothing for you to fix. The full surrender is when you stop and go and do something that brings you joy, and then you will come back to the solution for what that thing is. It is so human to screw things up constantly. In fact, just to give you an example of that, one of these programs I did was really great. Talked about this 97% of the time that a rocket was flying from here to the moon, it was correcting itself onto the flight path. So we think that it's just like getting from A to B is just this smooth ride. But if you take that example, 97% of the time we're correcting our path, you know, and it is like that in life. 97% is correcting things, and 3% of the time it's smooth. Yet for some reason we bought into, and our conditioning tells us that it should be the other way around, but it's not the case. And so your real peace comes from allowing the stop, breathe, and come back. Find this a repeatable task as well, a practice. Okay. This is the leadership of entrepreneurship. The discipline to stop when those things happen and focus on your joy. And lastly, own everything and apologize for nothing. Does this sound counterintuitive? It probably is, but it works. Your sense of peace, freedom, and your energy is paramount. Don't spend time arguing your point. Own and accept everyone else's experience as their own and keep moving. Spend time listening and feeling others, and never apologize for your own experience either. So, you know, what we mean by that is sometimes we get into these wars trying to like, no, I'm right. No, I'm right. And then when we go away and then we have a conversation with someone else going, can you believe that happened? And that was right. And that was right. And look, it is very human. I still do it myself sometimes, but it really is just own it. Own that whatever action you did led someone to experience whatever their experience. I mean, it's true, because it doesn't mean it's your fault or you're to blame, but it means that we really do we are action reaction machines with each other. So it's like, the moment we do anything, people respond. So we can't resist that. So if I put something out there, I'm sure there's going to be people that don't like it, but there's also going to be people that love it. And if I say something and I don't do it the right way, I can own that it didn't work for that person. Doesn't mean I shouldn't have said it. Spending all the time going around trying to get some validation that what I did was okay is a waste of time. It's also a waste of energy when I could just own whatever I did actually led that person to feel that way. I do get that. I can really get that. And I can spend time getting and spending and asking, what it was like for them and really getting connected to. There's nothing more beautiful for other human beings to feel seen and heard and gotten, and really connecting to that. And look, it is, again, is a practice. I practice it a lot and I still feel like, you got to hear my point of view. And I do get like that, but I really try and pull myself in very quickly because it's such a waste of time and energy when the surrender and the listening and the connecting and the feeling the other person's experience is so healing for both people. And this is what I'm calling leadership. It's being there for someone, even when you don't want to, hearing them out, and then really owning that your energy is so important. And so just spending the time to listen, connect, and then sort of like move on is really important. And never apologize for anything either, for what it is you stand for. I don't apologize for that I'm out to create a new kind of leadership on this planet, or that I might be mentoring the President of the United States one day. I'm not going to apologize for what I teach in my programs. I'm not going to apologize if people get triggered. I mean, I'd never want them to experience shame, guilt, and all of those things, but we're human, so it's going to happen. And I'm not going to apologize for that, but I'm going to, I know that it's actually a part of life. And I'm also committed to hearing people, and they don't have to apologize either. So it's not just I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to own they never have to apologize either. So just sit here and lean the fuck up. Yes, that's right. And finally, a mantra, the mantra that we have at our social media school is never stop showing up. And these simple, repeatable tasks, if you can find a practice for yourself that actually has you come back to these 5 hacks, it won't matter what happens. You won't be concerned about whether something's going to happen or not. You'll just be like, oh, there's another correction. Oh, there's another reaction. Oh, okay, let's plan for that and move on. Never stop showing up. And I said this the other day, and someone, who I was really close to said, you make that sound like you just run over people, right? Never stop showing up. Just like, what I actually mean is it's not the case. It's a collective never stop showing up. It's not just Jess never stop showing up. It's also that I stand for no one else ever stops showing up. I'm happy to be hurt. I'm happy to be disappointed, and I'm happy to be upset if someone's standing in their truth of who they are and they're backing themselves. Okay. I'm okay for people to break my heart and break up with me if what they really want is not being fulfilled by me. And vice versa. I'm happy to do the same. I will break someone's heart. I will hurt them, and I will disappoint them if I'm standing in what's true for me. I have no problem with that. And I don't think anyone should apologize for that. And I don't think anyone who gets hurt by that needs to apologize for feeling that either. I think it's a part of life. And I think the more that we're able to pull this into a real life scenario, these are our real lives, not pretend that we don't feel this stuff, but actually account for it, pull it into our business, make it a part of the planning process. That's what I think is truly a human business. So I just want to have a look at this. Yes. Boom. Thanks, guys. Jamie. When we're truly on purpose, there is no problems, only solutions. Yeah, great. And never stop showing up. I mean, never stop standing for who you are, what you want, and what brings you joy. No, despite what happens in the world, let all this crazy shit that's going on keep happening. Okay, it's fine. It's not fine. I mean, obviously, we'd all love it to be different, but it is the way that it is. What's really going to make a difference is what you focus on, what brings you joy, how you can impact the world with your own joy showing up. You don't have to look out here and go, how do I fix all the problems of the other 8 billion? You know how you do? You fix all the problems that you have with yourself, with your own energy, with your own boundaries, with your own showing up. You really want to change the world, you deal with that, and it really does go out. So thank you, Simone. Yes, empower yourself. You know, Osho even said it. You want to save the world? Save yourself. There's so much around this, you know, and if you want to master your own energy, master your own, the stuff that still impacts you, that you get triggered by a lot, and keep looking at that and keep diving into it and express it, and use tools that allow you to let go of all of the stuff that still triggers you. You'll get new triggers. Don't think that there's ever an end to this. There's not. You'll get new triggers. I get triggered differently about different things all the time, but just don't stop looking and plan for it. Build it in. It's a part of life. I love this. What's this, Jamie? I am Jamie Spiller. I am a stand to empower myself, to inspire others, to always show, if I can, you can. Beautiful. Yes, that's right. And when you're crying in the corner and you forget about this message, just be kind to yourself. You're allowed to be human, and you're allowed for it not to be there sometimes too, because that will empower you forward to practice being that more powerfully. It's a part of being human to cry and fail and not have it work out at times, and then just remain focused on that goal. Okay, is there any, I've really come to an end. I think the key things I want you to take away is those boring, repeatable tasks. 1, 5, 3. 1 post, 5 stories, 3 Facebook Lives. That is your awareness and your brand, and be yourself. Marketing, you have to make it easy to find you. Do whatever you can to always have something going on so that people can get to you, and put those links everywhere. Sales, you have to tell people about your stuff. You do have to invite them. Leadership is sales. Someone who stands up and says, this is really important to me and I'd really love you to come, that is leadership. You know, and people mostly resist it. You know, having conversations with people. The more you do these little things, the more you build confidence. The more you build confidence in your message and people coming, the more that you'll want to show up, and the more events you want to put on, and the more that you'll want to bring your message to the world. Okay, so it really is about building your confidence. Hey, Siri.
Hello.
Siri, I didn't talk to you. So that is all that I want to share with you today. And like I said, I would love, you know, whilst I'm here, I am going to pitch to you that we have a 3-day immersion coming up on the 20th of July. If you'd love to jump in, a social media immersion, please DM me. I'd love to have you guys if you're interested in that. And we also have the social media games on the 15th of July from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. It's going to be super rad. There's also 15 spots live at our at the Social Media School HQ. So if you're interested, I'll put that link in. I'll put it in again. Thank you all for tuning in. Love talking to you guys, and you have a great day. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Jamie. Who else have I missed here? Thank you, Simone. It's like right over the thing, isn't it? It's annoying. Have yourselves a lovely rest of your Sunday, and I'll talk to you guys in a month. Thanks, Warner.